fucking hell? What was that? Shit, no, this is wrong way. Wrong way.
Stay downstairs.
I know,
Like,
wrong way. Wrong way. Oh!
There.
Oh,
Oh shit! No! No! Don't put that! No! No!
Oh my
God.
God.
I wanna lock you in a string.
Oh fuck, that's right.
And BT, oh my god.
Right
Okay.
behind you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jump through the window for life.
Oh shit. Go, run, you bro time, run. Run.
Yes.
Tasha, these are just pros, okay? You just saw a master at work. Shit! I was too busy singing a song.
Oh, you can't do it. That's right.
I got 15
Get
seconds.
away, Aretha!
Listen, I am ready to kill her. Wait.
To us.
I'm running. I'm injured.
My fucking God!
How is
You
the Reaper
got
not
it!
down yet? That scream. I love it.
Love you, mean it. Oh my god.
Ooh, it's
Oh my
he's
God.
starting to think.
Oh my god. No. Flashlight. I'm dead. I got it. And then, yeah.
Don't ever do that again.
Not on that bike, I won't.
All right, that building across the street, that's Takamoto's.
Fucking something in there. Oh, mother trucker. No. Why am I moving forward? Where did that bastard come from?
Are you in the building?
No.
He's not on the team. Did you have it? Was no way there?
That bitch scared me. I was in the basement.
No, 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 no. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Wait, is it massaging the ears calms people down? Okay. Okay. My weapon is out of ammo. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Right?
Ghost riding.
That ghost isn't gonna find itself with you in the van, Aretha.
Right.
Listen, I'm
Huh?
stuck on some wire here.
Infiltration.
Give us what we came for, lady. Get back in that house by yourself and go experience some scary shit. right, meow.
Right.
Actually, let me put up.
Hi, damsel. Thank you for redeeming your daily golden ticket. And oh no, it's the first. Oh no. I was supposed to reset this today. It's okay. I'm a pro at this now. Kinda. Ready? Watch this. Down. You had one job. You had one job. Okay. And then. What else was I doing? I was gonna do something else. Okay. Don't remember what it was. I got distracted. Oh, I remember now. No! No! No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. Remove that. Okay. I got it. You goddamn cocksucker. No! 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 Oh shit, that's why I always have a pad of paper. So we got Damsel and Miranda. Wait, is it this one? No, this one. First and foremost, we're gonna do this. Shit.
Jesus Christ.
Did I get him? Alright.
Oh my god.
Yee, no! I mean, no. Thank you, Yee. I mean, hi, Yee. Okay. All right. Okay. We got Damsel, Daenerys, and Yee. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, it's the first. I gotta reset this. Okay. So. Doesn't matter anyways. Yee, you're first. I think this doesn't change the order. I think this is still good. Yeah, this is fine. I think everyone is so, like, off.
Look at this esports play over here.
Off the way that it's like, okay, the top 5 are gonna stay. So, okay, hold on. Let me reset this before anyone else comes in here.
I did it 2 times now, so I'm like, oh, she's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's fine.
And party hat.
Okay. Now let me go find people. Start with Damsel.
Wow, Mom made a valid point. He does kind of look like Jeremy Sisto.
Damsel, you have one ticket.
Jeremy Sisto.
You now have one ticket, Damsel. Here, I'm gonna say. Oh, no. And then we have Miranda.
Oh no, I left him. Crap.
Miranda now has one ticket. Oh, so Miranda, this week, me and you need to do two things. Plan a day to play a game together. And two, set up your custom Spinal Survivor thingy. And Yee, you now have one ticket.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god, he's right behind you.
Everyone is reset and ready to go.
Oh, no, you got me too.
Here we go.
Boogie. Kaboom.
Mhm.
You may. Okay.
Just once yet. Well, I haven't even been near my computer. Like,
Okay.
got me jumping right down in front of her. No.
You know, we could be
It
chatting.
was a mistake.
I'm free every evening so far. Okay. I am not free tomorrow evening. Well, I'm watching Traders tomorrow. So I guess it really depends on what time. Wednesday evening, I'm also free. Wednesday and Thursday so far. Wednesday we could do. I'm uber sick but can still somewhat function. Oh no. Why are you sick? You're not allowed to be sick. You were just sick last week. Or last month. I'm going to get my flu shot and my COVID vaccine tomorrow. Because I just realized that my last one was in December. My mom's going to get hers too. Sorry, Mom, but I can't help it. I know. I was actually so worried because I don't know if you know this, but, well, anyone who doesn't live in our province, you have to pay for your COVID vaccines now. But because of my health issues and because my mom is over 65, we don't have to pay for it. COVID is going around there. Oh my gosh. You know what? There's a TB outbreak over here. And my mom had TB, so like she is more at risk than other people because when you have TB, it's like it will always be in your body. It just goes dormant and can be reactivated. So when my mom was downtown, I was like, oh my God, Mom, be careful downtown because like, yeah. I mean, Alberta, if it's not measles, it's fucking TB or COVID, apparently. Alberta. Anywho, okay. Wait, I already got distracted. What was I doing? Oh, that's what I was gonna do. Okay. I'm going to do... We are going to play some DBD if anyone wants to play. You're more than welcome to join. Is it name? Wheel of Names. There we go. So let me put everyone's names in the wheel. And who wins this month's free gift sub? Ooh, it's Vin. Vin gets it. Also, y'all, my subs. I have 3 subs. And really, that's 1 sub because my mother subs to me at tier 3. Unless, no, I'm pretty sure she still does. So I have 1 sub and it's my mother. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, if your own mother can't sub to you, I mean, you know. Oh, no, it's okay. No, I totally understand. I also had to unsub from a lot of people. The only cool thing is so for your sub, I actually subbed to you 6 months at a time. And I bought it during the discount. So it actually I was able to sub to you longer for a discounted rate because I did it during September. So not only did I get the discount, but I also got one for subbing 6 months at a time. It actually is cheaper that way. I mean, it's more in that moment, but it's cheaper in the long run. So yeah, there's a lot of people that I subbed to that way originally. And so now I have a lot of people. I only have 2 people that I have subbed that way. One of them is Miranda, and the other one is Gamer. My mods, because they're my mods. You have to support your mods. All right. I'm going to find my channel and stop getting distracted. 1 second. Okay, gift a sub. Specific user. No, Ben. I think, wait, no. Wait, that can't be right. Unless my mom might have canceled her sub to me. Either that or she canceled the credit card it was on. It won't let me... It says that I can't. They must already sub. But he won't buy. Wait. I could check on my mom's right now. Hold on. No, my mom has subbed to me. Yeah. I made my mom sub to me at a tier 3. She's subbed to me for tier 3. You know what it might be? It might be just because they're not here, and sometimes you have to be in the channel before it, like, shows. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll have to wait till Ben shows up. But until then... Merry Christmas. All right, let's see. You're welcome. Okay. All right. While I'm here, let's go to my About Me section. Daily ticket. Daily ticket and... Oh, that's what I want to do. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Wait, do I not do that anymore? Ben, hi. How are you? Ben, type something in the chat. You are sub to me. Okay. Well, Ben, you won. You won this month's... Aretha, you really need to watch Sailor Moon? Sailor Moon? I need to watch Sailor Moon? Ben, you won this month's gifted sub, but it won't let me to give to you a sub because apparently you're already subbed, so... The option are, you can gift it to someone specifically, or if you stream, I can go to your... I don't think you stream, though. I'm pretty sure you don't stream, right? You can pick a person? Well, you know what? Easy peasy. I just gifted Miranda one, so... There. You gifted your yours to Miranda. Hi, Phoenix. Okay, do I not do that anymore? I just realized I didn't put anyone's name down. Alright, I guess I will... I'll write it in my green room. $2025. November top golden tickets are Yee. Yee, you are number 1. Vin, you were number 2. Daenerys, you are 3. Damsel, you are 4. And then we have Bori. Okay, now I gotta figure out who has VIP. Let's see. I don't think you do, but you know what? We'll see. He is already VIP. Let's see. / VIP. Boreal. Borealisaura. Lisa Aurora. Okay, Bori is now VIP. Ben, I believe you are still VIP. Yes, you are. Miranda is too, but she's a mod, so you won't see it. And Damsel, I believe you are still... Oh! I only mentioned Sailor Moon because in your last podcast you mentioned that you hadn't seen it. No, I haven't. I also haven't really watched Pokemon. Like, I have nothing in reference to it. But I tell people all the time, because I think I said it at one point, that if I ever make partner, I commit to playing Pokemon for like a week. That is my promise. So yeah. Oops, 60. Okay. Is it command add points? There we go. E, because you are number 1, you get 100 final survivor points. Add points. Ben, you are number 2, so you are going to get 80 points. Add points. Miranda, because you are number 3, you are going to get 60 points. I feel like I created so much administrative work to myself, you know? It's Damsel. You are going to get 40 points. And add points. Bori. Oh, shit. Bori. Alisa or Ra is gonna get 20 points. I know, right? Like, I wanted to make this so much more automated than it is, you know? But then I started this thing that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take my top ticket holders and I'm gonna do this. And I'm like, I might need to just either get rid of the golden tickets. I do like the check-in though. Or instead of doing monthly reset, I do yearly reset, like we do with the Final Survivor. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think I might just go to that mode and not do a reset because I'm like, I feel like I just created so much more work for myself. But I also wanted to do something that, because we do have the mystery box. But if people want to trade in their channel points for Final Survivor points, they can. I think that's what I was going to do. Is it a command? Redeem. Redemption store. No, that's not it. Okay. Maybe I'll do that next month. To be honest, I must have a lot of VIPs because I have not ran out once. And I sometimes give away VIPs. Sometimes. I should make something other for VIP as well. I haven't run out yet. Okay. Channel point redeem name. What would I call it? If you're going to take your channel points and turn them into Final Survivor points, it has to be something horror related. What would it be? Also, I'm going to be playing some DBD. If anyone wants to play, you're more than welcome to join me. I'm just sitting here in my... Wait, did I hit? Oh, I didn't. Okay. All right, I did one thing. Let's go. Feed the entity. Ooh. You know what? Sacrifice channel points to the entity. Okay, so feed the entity. I'll call it that. But then I'll say, it'll be like, oh, so-and-so has sacrificed blank points to feed to the entity. Okay, sounds good. Oh, okay. Consumable? I don't know if I have the brain power to do this right now. I don't know why I'm doing it. Let's see. At what rate would they cost? Okay, so let's say for 1 point, Hold on, actually. I got an idea. 1.5. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, hold on. Okay. Add to user. Final survivor points. Okay. Nope, that's not it. That is so weird. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. So then, chat message will be... Oh my god. Oh my... What are the special identifiers again? I'm good at this. It's fine. It's fine. Got this. Is it command, user ID? Username? Target username? Shit, what am I looking at? Not that. Wait. Username. Okay. What did I say it was going to be? Username. Okay, it doesn't even make sense. Okay, I'm trying to like make this make sense in my mind. Alright, I'm using all the brain power I have. It's not a lot in this moment. I actually am quite tired. I was watching a movie with my mom. That's why I was so late. The streaming. Okay. Username sacrificed 1K channel points to feed the entity 660 final survivors. wait, to gain 666 final survivor points. Okay, so now to go to here, creator dashboard. Viewer rewards. And this one. I feel like it should be more. I don't know why. You know what? I think it should be more. Hold on. I'm gonna add a 0 on here. You know why? Because I can. Because I need a... Okay. Hold on. Let me change that. I'll just say channel points. I don't need to say how much it is. Wait, what is... Oh, wait, command. I'm like, what is that one? Okay. Add final survivor points. What is... Is it rank? Rank? It is rank. I don't like name these things the same thing, you know? Okay, hold on. Let's see. Channel points redeem. Okay, it's ready to test. Try it. Ooh. Wait, what were you before? Yay! Yeah, because you were at 115 and now you're at 781. Ooh. There we go. We got this. Thanks for your help, y'all. Look at that. I have 119k channel points. Well, it makes it a lot easier. So people, if they want to sacrifice their channel points, they can. But, you know, I'm just saying. You won't be able to redeem anything else. I mean, mystery box is only 500. Also, I had McDonald's earlier. This had orange juice in it, and I've just been filling it up with apple juice. I'm trying not to drink too much pop in a day. So I had my water, and I was drinking some apple juice. All right. Well, y'all, are we ready? Also, I'm still doing the thing. By the way, my friend bought me a controller. My friend Tanya bought it for me. We went shopping. She was adamant on buying me something, and I was like, fine, fine. Buy the controller. It's very nice for her. I always feel very awkward when people buy me things. I don't know. It just feels weird. And also, I'm a big proponent that if you buy something for someone and you didn't formally agree to the terms before, that's on you. Anyways. So yeah, I have my controller. If anyone wants to donate, you're more than welcome to. For every $1 that you donate, I have to play DBD with mouse and keyboard. Why? Because apparently I love punishment. I did see. I saw. So yeah. So if anyone wants to donate, you're more than welcome to. I think if you donate $1, I think there are like redeems in there. It's like if you donate $1, you're buying disposable gloves for a day. If you donate $5, it's like I can't remember what it was. $10 is a membrane for science. Yeah. But I'm $20 away from my goal. And today, December 1st, is World AIDS Day. I actually normally did fundraise for this event, usually every year when I started streaming. My problem is I feel really bad about fundraising too much, like too long and too much. Because I always feel bad, especially when it gets like near Christmas and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Donate what you can. If not, like just sharing posts and goes a long way. and just bringing awareness and being there and looking at the charities and like what they do and why they're there and the work that they do. Which is like, even just bringing awareness also does so much more than even just, you know, donating money, because it's not always just about money. It's also about awareness and breaking the stigma around HIV and AIDS, and, you know, yeah. And hopefully, like, there's been so many cool things that have happened. I still have, so I haven't donated here before, or I haven't fundraised here before. I'm doing it as part of my stream team, Technicolor. That's what we did all of our events yesterday for. It was, you know, I wasn't too sure if I was going to be able to participate because, as you all know, or if you have known, maybe you don't know, but my aunt died last week. And so I knew her funeral was going to be sometime. And I was like, when they finally told me the day, and we had to go all the way to Ontario, and I live in Alberta, which is like the equivalent of like going from like Montana to New York. Yeah, so I had to go like over there to the funeral, and so I flew there the day before, funeral happened, and then we flew back the next day. And it just happened to be that all of that happened, and I was able to go there and come back and be back for this tournament. I felt really bad because I couldn't actually practice with the team. We literally practiced the night before because when I got back, I was like, okay, I can practice. And I was like so jet lagged. And then we played. It's funny because both teams that I was on, the first one was DBD, and then the second one was Marvel Rivals. Our team won second in both tournaments. Like, we got second both tournaments. And you got bonus points if you escape through the hatch. I escaped through the hatch twice, and I told my teammates, I said, one of my nicknames is Hatch Queen. So because we did, we got extra bonus points, which literally just pushed us over the top, and we were able to get second. So it was really cool. And also, when you played Marvel Rivals, it wasn't just about like elimination. Like, you didn't have to just play to get eliminated. You got points for how many heals you got, how many blocks you got, how many, like, you know, you had those. So we had to screen capture our end screen. Anyways, my heals alone, in like almost every game, we lost. There's 7 games in total. We lost every one but the last one. But my heals were like double digits every time. So it's just one of those things where we got so many points, even though we lost. Like, to be honest, I thought we were doing bad. But at the end of the day, when you're doing tournaments like that, it really is for charity. So that is the biggest motivation, is we're raising money for charity, we're bringing awareness, and we're just having fun. So even though they were murdering us and attacking a poor, helpless little trash panda, they're the ones who have to sleep with themselves at night. Just joking. I know. I was like, wow. Wow. Really? I'm just a baby. We had so much fun. I'm so tired afterwards. So if you all didn't know, I do a podcast. My new episode of my podcast came out today. We were literally editing it last night, and I had to re-record the intro for it. And I had to take a break, and then I had to record it, and I had to re-record it, and I had like halls. I was drinking so much water. I was screaming for like 7 hours in both my games. And by the time we were playing, I was just like, oh my God, my throat's so sore. And I was like listening back to myself, trying to say this intro. And I was like, yeah. And so I recorded the intro and I sent it to Roger. Roger's the person who's been editing my podcast. And he's like, you said my first guest. And I was like, no, I said my next guest. He's like, no, you said your first guest. And I didn't believe him. And then he had to share his screen so he could play it. And he could like, this is what you sent me. And I was like, fuck, I said my first guest. It was so funny. He's like, what, you don't believe me? You think I'm lying? I'm like, no, I'm just tired. So yeah, I literally edited that. We edited that thing. I uploaded it. I had it like, because it gets released at like 6 in the morning for me. Because I want it to be released at 8 in the morning for people who are in the East Coast. So that's what I do. But I had to stay up so late, like finishing it, listening to it again, like making corrections. I was like, oh, there's this thing here. Can you like take that out? Or, oh, I'm really loud here. Can you like turn me down or off? And so yeah, it was a whole thing. And yeah, so yesterday I was just like so tired. And I was still jet lagged because I came home on Saturday, I did some practicing, then woke up, then was getting ready for the tournament, and then had to fix my podcast so that I could have it ready to go by this morning. Y'all, I was tired. I'm still tired. And I'm still trying to adjust to the time difference again because it's like 2 hours ahead. But anyways. All right, I'm going to stop talking because I'm just babbling here at the moment. And if anyone would like to help me reach my goal, please feel free. And again, for every $1 that anyone donates, I will play a mouse and keyboard on DBD. And also, if anyone wants to join, please feel free. I think my command is add DBD if we are not friends. That is my username. Y'all, my nose is a little ready. I need to blow my nose. Hold on. All right. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. I look like a mess. And I don't know if you know this, but my hair has been falling out. My hair's gotten so much thinner this past year. So I've been putting on this like oil thing on my scalp that's supposed to help your hair grow back. It's gotten a little better. But I have like oil in my hair. So I have my hair like tied back because it just feels like all oily. But it's supposed to help. Anywho, okay. Ooh. Alan Wake has joined the Prestige 10 Club. Oh, this character.
I've woken up in worse places than this.
Is there any outfit for this person? Okay. Oh, I have Screech Cobbler. Okay. Okay, but what outfit do I have, though? Hmm. Hmm. I do like this outfit. I just don't know if I want to spend 90. Can I just use Auric cells? Like, what? Why? I like this color. Oh well. Blast Mine, Light, Inner Strength. Okay, we got this. We got this. Let's see. Ooh, Jungly is playing DBD. Oh, has anyone watched Stranger Things yet? I have not watched it all. If anyone wants to watch Stranger Things, please let me know. You saw the first episode? I haven't watched it at all yet. Like I was gonna watch it in my hotel, but I was already kind of sleepy and I knew I was gonna fall asleep. So I was like, you know what? What did you think of it? Welcome back from the ad. What did you think of the... Oh my god, my nose is running again. Hold on. My nose... It was okay. They made some questionable decisions. The character that is... Ah... You know what? I've already seen some and this is where I have to watch it like sooner than later because I already watched some TikToks where they were talking about like, oh, here is the original plot line of the movie. Here is things that they're doing, and it's like first season to last season, and it's like it's almost like they throw the whole plot line out of the window and start doing weird things that you're like, what was the whole point? So that's why I'm like, I wanted to know if anyone had watched it and what they thought, because I was like, it sounds like. Oh. Sounds like, you know, wasn't great. I'm a huge rush. I'm not in a huge rush to watch it right now because they are releasing this season in 3 parts, I think. Oh my god, not 3 parts. You know, I would rather them release an episode a week or something. I hate that. Don't do it in 3 parts. Either just do it like once a week then. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Surprising for an inferior life.
What are you harassing me for? Jesus. Yeah. An episode a week or all at once. You know what I mean? Because at least then you're consistent. Like, don't tease me and then, like, leave it on a cliffhanger and then make me wait and then I have to watch the whole thing again because I totally forgot what happened. This is literally my first game. I ended up chatting for like an hour. It's my first game though. I know. Well, and I totally forgot that I usually reset my golden tickets at the beginning of the month. And I forgot to do it. So then I had to like fix everyone. Hit me for it. And then I added redeem, so if people want to use, they can use their channel points for their final survivor points. It was very helpful. Chat really helped. In chat, I mean Vin. Well, how are you? How are you today? Have you played DBD at all today? I do have open lobbies. If anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know. You're good? That's good. Much appreciated. Oh shit. I just wanted those bones, but they're not leaving that area. You know what? Sometimes they're in here. Oh. Is it here? No. I'm like, ugh. I already lost these damn bones. Oh, here we are. The games earlier were tough. Oh no! Yeah, the killers I faced ran full gen perks. It was crazy. Yeah, for sure. Come join. I was like, is none of us on a gen? Oh shit. Oh my god! It's literally... Go finish that gen. It's literally a... Oh my god. It's literally like you need to side-eye and it's gonna go off, you know? Seriously though. Why is there one teammate up there? go down for this gin. No! I was almost done. Okay. Wait, over here. Wait, where? Why do I have all these? Oh, there we go. I'm like, why in the world? I'm like, where can I get this one from? There we go. Mia brought a key? Anyways.
Death, desolation. We meet again.
Do, 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 do. This killer is always so quick for me. Which killer? Oh shoot! What am I watching? What is it called? The Singularity? Yeah. I was like, I wonder what that name is. Ooh. Let's see. What do I got? I have a masquerade toolbox. And of 138 screech cobblers. Ooh. Here, let me message Ooh, also, my niece wanted something for her birthday. I was gonna look it up. Let's see. Oh, this was not too bad, but I want it to be like an SSD. Okay, got it. Thanks. A 1 terabyte SSD. I wonder if there's a way. External hard drive. Okay, so this is number 1. Let's see, can I have this one? Okay. This one's not too bad. I was gonna get her 1 terabyte, but it looks like 2 terabytes might be okay. And there's the crucial... Huh. Okay. It's... Oh, shoot. Not the pinhead. Okay, I'm gonna get this to at least 2 pistons, and then I'm gonna move on and go find some bones. Bones, bones, magical bones. Okay, once the third one starts moving, I know I suck. Wow. Can I? Okay, I need to stop trying to go for a great skill check because apparently it's just not in the cards today, you know?
You summoned me. I came.
Oh shit. No, no! Get off me. Get off me! No, Jesus. Jeez. Ah. No, I don't want those to go down too fast. Oh my god! Would you get off me? Woo. Oh my god! Can we... Jeez! Wow. Wow, 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 wow. At least I got the box. Thank you. Much appreciated. We're going all the way over here? You know what show I really like? And I've been watching a lot, and even when I finish watching it, I like just go back and I rewatch it. Ghosts. Has anyone been watching Ghosts? It started out as an American show. I mean, American show. A British show. And they did like remake versions of it. They have an American version. I think there's like a German version, and like recently they actually did a Australian version, which was like very different because usually like the UK one, it was like a very like a mixed race couple kind of thing. And then in the States, they kind of did the same, but they always had like the wife was white, and then the husband, it was like a person of color. But in the Australian version, the wife is actually indigenous. They have a hex totem, but I couldn't get it. Okay. Is anyone near you? Come. Here, let me stop this first. I'm coming. Help is on the way, dear. Help is on the way. Wait, I hear it. No, no! I was here! Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, we might want to go. Okay. I was exposed? What did I have? Hope? Something heal the hope? I basically was one shot down. I think that is haunted ground. Here, we're both on death. It's fine. Ah! No, it's okay. Don't trip cut. C'est la what? Oh no. That's not too bad. Still buying options. Oh Jesus, never mind. I'm like, how much is this thing? Wait, is 100 gigabyte? It's 1,000 gigabytes 1 terabyte? Is that not 1 terabyte? It is. I was like, why is this? High performance ADA. Operating systems including Windows, Mac, iPhone, VSP, high-speed USB-C connection. Lazy. Okay. How much is two? Two delivery. Ooh, bestie. Hello, hello, hello. I was like, boo bestie? Who is a boo bestie? I know who that is. It is London. Hi. How are the games? How is Marvel Rivals? I'm dead already, so I'm just watching. Sweaty? Any hatch escapes? No, not yet. I've died. I've been like the first one to die in both my games so far. It's been fun though. But yes. Also, good job on the panel discussion today. I was watching. I originally was gonna start my stream at like 7, and then I was like, and then I saw that you all were still talking, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just sit here and watch. So I was like, you know what? I'm just start late. But y'all did great on the panel. Oh, also, I don't know if this was obvious to some people, but I know it's weird because if we go to the Tiltify campaign, it does say that the overall raised is 3,000, but if we go to the event total is at 6,234. So what is the right total? I know, I think these are my campaigns. Yeah, so for the whole event, yeah. If you go to the fundraising event for World AIDS Day, it's 6,234 and 4 cents.
I have such sights to show you.
Ah, okay. Because I don't think there wasn't like a team, right? Like no one created a team for Tiltify? But I mean, that's still a lot of money for the event in general. Yeah, I died a while ago. I was shopping. And congratulations on joining the team. See, we told you. We were. Well, I did say, I was like, yeah, there's not an application for it. It's just like, you recommend people. And we were like, well, everyone in this room right now, except I think one person. Right? Yeah, we were like, oh yeah. Yeah, you hold on. We could do it this way. Also, I am playing DBD. If anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome to jump in. I have not escaped through the hatch, but I do have 137 screech cobblers. So, there's that. And a can-do attitude. I am a little sleepy though, so I have blown up a few gens so far. Oh. On Trickster? Oh my goodness. I don't play Killer that often. I don't even know. It would probably be on Naughty Bear. Naughty Bear is my current favorite killer. What's this one? No, 80-10. Is that important? I'm shopping over here at the same time because my niece has recently started streaming, but she streams on a laptop and she wants a new computer for her birthday because her birthday is also in December. And I'm like, no. But then she's like, hey, can I get a hard drive instead? And I was like, yes, I think that's more manageable. I honestly love playing Unknown recently. Ooh. Also, 1 terabyte is 1K instead of 1 gigabyte. 1K instead of... Yeah, I think that's it. I think that was it. I googled best SSD hard drive, external hard drives for gaming. And according to PC Gamer, the best SSD for gaming in 2025 is the Adata SSD. Adata SSD SD 810. So I don't know. If someone was to use an external hard drive to store their games so they can play games, is 1 terabyte enough? I have like so much storage in my thing, so I'm like, I have multiple hard drives in here. Also, sorry, I'm half asleep. I'm also still so tired. I'm still so jet lagged and trying to like recuperate from everything. But also, welcome in, Raiders. If you don't know me, my name is Simply Retha. I'm an Indigenous filmmaker, content creator, and streamer. I do play a lot of games. I do play a lot of Dead by Daylight. And sometimes Marvel Rivals. Sometimes Fortnite. Sometimes I play random games and, yeah, just have fun. I'm usually just, like, all over the place. 1 terabyte is fine for external. Okay. Yeah, because right now she's been wanting to play Marvel Rivals, but because of how big Marvel Rivals is and how much limit she has on her computer right now, she's been having a hard time playing Marvel Rivals just because she doesn't have enough space. So she either has to delete other games she's playing to then play Marvel Rivals. Yeah, I've got like 4 hard drives on my computer. Yeah. Because right now, she does play DBD occasionally. Sometimes she plays Valorant and Marvel Rivals. And then the other one she's been playing has been like Lockdown, Repo, Phasmophobia. Yeah, okay. So this one will be fine then. And it's only like, it's $165. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it's better than the brand new computer she wanted for her birthday / Christmas. She was like, how much money did you buy your computer for? And I was like, a lot, and even then I had to upgrade it. She's the oldest grandchild, so she's very spoiled. I tell my mother this all the time. But I have to admit, I'm also the problem. Okay, I'm just looking for bones. Oh, there we go. Also, if anyone wants to join and play DBD, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know. Oh, son of a bitch. That wasn't me missing the skill check this time. Oh, Jesus. Ah! Yes, please, go relax. Woo! Thank you for the lurk. Go relax. Oh, shit. I mean, she's been doing good, though. She plays a lot of games, has a lot of fun. Okay. And also, the cool thing is I don't have to buy this whole thing by myself. My mom's gonna help me. And or pay for the whole thing herself. Actually, you know what's funny? We actually played, I think we even played Marvel Rivals with London. Oh, not Starstruck. What in the world? Gotcha. Oh. Right? Archie! I know, right? It's a good little reminder. Okay. What? Oh, shit. What? Thank you for shouting out Phoenix. I also wasn't aware that a lot of people don't know that your name is Phoenix and have been calling you Phoenix. And I was like, was that an option? Well, I can't remember. Someone said it to me and they were like, how I've been calling Phoenix this whole time and none of y'all corrected me. And I was like, to be honest, I didn't hear it. And then the moment they said that, ever since then, when people have called you Phoenix, I've heard them call you Phoenix after that. I'm like, oh, people aren't calling you Phoenix. Okay. Oh my god. Slacking on my shoutouts. I blame my suck brain? Maybe your sick brain? It's actually pronounced Banesh. Also, in my channel, even VIPs can give people shoutouts if they want. I'm like Oprah. I'll give everyone a shoutout. I don't care. You get a shoutout, and you get a shoutout. You get a shoutout. Yeah. And there is a redeem if you're streamed. If you're streamed, we will show you. Yes, it's celebrate streamer or something. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. I'm not sleepy, you're sleepy. But I hope you all had a wonderful Monday so far. Maybe it was Freiburg Queen. Freiburg Queen recently was like, why didn't you correct me? Oh, shit. And I was like, so many people say it that way. I'd just be like, eh. Yeah, I'd never heard it before until I think it was Freiburg Queen who said it. And I was like, oh. I don't know, I'd never heard you say it. Oh, that was weird. Not true gamers if they don't know what Phoenix Down is. I was getting Felix for a while too when he came out of DBD. That's what I was saying. Oh my god. Felix? Not the Felix. If anyone wants to join, just let me know and you're more than welcome to.
This land leaves much to be desired.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, he just left and went away, and I'm like, okay. It's very interesting. See all buying options. Y'all, I have almost all my survivors to prestige 10. And then I think I'm gonna work on someone and get them to at least 50 maybe. Maybe I'll end up everyone at 50. I don't want to get anyone to 100, to be honest. Only because I'm like, I feel like after that I would have nowhere to go. My brand new part. You mother trucker. Okay. Free Prime delivery will arrive by Tuesday the 9th. I wish I could find one that's closer. I want it sooner. Sold by Prime Bay. Maybe I'll look here. Nope, that's not gonna work. Let's see. Is there... Okay, make sure I got it. That is... What is that other game company? Oh. Is that store? No. It's like a green store. Memory Express. Bah, humbug. I guess she'll just get it late, I guess. Her birthday is actually on Sunday. Bones, bones, bones. Okay, they're both over there. I'm coming for the hook. Well, I was hoping that our teammate would come join me over here, but apparently not. Oh. I haven't even seen the killer. Sometimes bones. Oh, here. Are they trying to flashlight save? Is that the problem? I still don't see them. Yeah, flashlighting and undoing hooks. Ooh. You know what? If they're gonna bully the killer, I feel like we should just let the killer have them. You know? I mean, the one's already on death hook, and it's like... Finished one gen. Oh shit! Why were you? Oh shoot! That was weird. I was trying to hide. Do you want to be healed? Are you like a bot or something? I don't get it. You literally chased me all the way over here because you just want to heal me, sort of thing? Interesting. Got your Axe body spray. There you go. Oh, shit. Where, oh, where? Damn it. Oh. Bought us some time. Oh shit. No! Get out of here. I've been infected. Infected with the worms. I got worms. just get my struggle points in at this point. Wait, I think Panda Cat can be annoyed, right? Oh, basement. Basement. Heart choker. Hello. Happy December. Hello. How are you? December 9th. Shipped internationally. Anything that's closer? Oh, that's cool. I know, right? I'm like, GG, question mark? Bro, what is the IQ? DEA, GG? Oh, and they left? Wow. What was that, like our third or fourth game? It's doing all right. Kind of okay. We do have open lobbies. If anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome to. Why, yes. Oh, sold by... Wait. Sold by... Oh my god. Our queue's long? Not really. He's calling us bad? I know. I was like... I mean, to be fair, I don't know what our teammates were doing. I get that they wanted to get, like, flashlight saves, but, like, even that one person, like, I think they just wanted to get points because they literally were just sabotaging hooks. Like, you want to sabotage hooks that are, like, before anyone goes down, but it was like they would get off the hook and immediately sabotage their hook. And it was like, what are you doing? It just didn't make sense. Prime, free delivery. Nope. Free Prime delivery, Wednesday, December 10th. See, this one's still good, but I think it says fastest delivery Tuesday, December 9th. Extended delivery shipped internationally. Prime Bay. You know, I feel like it's going to come faster if it's not from the States, maybe? I don't think the queues are too long. It's not too bad. Save 5% at checkout. Qualifying item terms. Free delivery, December 4th to 8th. Fast and reliable Canadian seller. This item ships from the United States. How is that a Canadian seller? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, but kind of longer than usual. I mean, I've had time to shop in between. Maybe I can find... Okay. Not my fellow Americans trying to fool the Canadians. I know, right? Hmm. I mean, this one might be okay. Language French. No. English, please. Thank you. Add to basket. This product code is not valid. Oh, shit. There we go. Hmm. I've never heard of this store before. Do you know when you like buy things on like online and you're like, I've never heard of this store before? Where are you gonna come from? Oh. Ugh. I hate this killer. I'm afraid of the dark. Okay. Oh, this is the wall. Oh. time. Oop. Some bones. Why is it always the bow? I'm like, I didn't even know what map we were on there for a second. I'm like, oh, found it. Got it now, I got it. With the barn in the middle. Is everyone excited for the new Christmas sweaters? And the Christmas mode? When does it start again? Does it start on the 9th? I almost missed that. Okay, once I get to 3 pistons. Oh, it's starting. It's starting. Alright, I'm coming. Just looking around, seeing if I can see some bones. Wait, were they gonna... Oh. Wait, were you in the basement? Wait. I was like... I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was like, I thought that was like a mattress. I was like, what is that on your head? Are you wearing a mattress? Oh, go sleepy, you're sleepy. Oh my god. Thank you. Oops. Where? Oh, ow. Ow. was like, they better not come and get me. Are both the doors on that side? I can't see. Oh shit! I'm like, what am I stuck on? Oh my god. Ah? I'm running in the dark. I don't even know where I'm going. I guess I'm closer to the door. I know where the door is now. Oh shit. What? I was running into that damn thing. Let's go. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Wow. We did good. I kept running into the freaking one of the barrel things that were on fire, and I was like, what is that? Fear of reminiscence? Bamboozles pure anatomy and fire out. Interesting. I just want to look up where the store is from. Spain. I think we're good. We have one open spot if anyone wants to join. I'll probably play maybe like 1 or 2 more. I'm definitely getting really sleepy. You know, maybe I should do the Amazon one, because the thing about the Amazon one is, though, even though it says by December 9th, sometimes it would be earlier. If it's a few days after her birthday, it'll be fine. It's just cheaper. Well, to be fair. It is... Okay, CL buying options. Okay, let's see. Proceed to checkout. Wait, is this? Okay. I think I'm just gonna go with it. I bring BPS. What is BPS? BPS? Blood points? Okay. And I'll just tell... Okay. I think I got it. Okay, I can stop shopping now. I'm just gonna get it and just hope for the best. I think it's blood points. I also brought blood points. I'm bringing Screech Cobbler. No, Scream Cobbler? No. Screech Cobbler? Screech? Yeah, Screech Cobbler. Bloody party streamers. Oh my god. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking so tired. Heart Joker time. I know, right? I'm like, I'm sorry. What? What are we doing now? What's happening? Oh, I'm leaving. Also, why did they decide to make this map more green? Ooh. Here we are, my friend. Doo-doo-doo. You know, one of these days I'm gonna participate in a tournament, and I'm gonna be a killer. Where is her? Oh, I'm like. Are you we go. Where'd the killer go? Oh, killer! Where'd you go? Oh, shit. Son of a biscuit. He doesn't even have to kick Jen's because he has a... Is it eruption? What is that perk that when you hook people, it like, it blows up? Yo, we don't even have one Jen done. Okay, they're on Panda Cat Killer, so I think we got some opportunity to maybe finish this one, Jay. Oh, someone screamed. Why? Okay, he doesn't have... He got me with bamboozled. Ooh, did he kick my Jen? Aha. Kicked my Jen. Oh no. Where is Daryl? Wait, is he on hard again? Wait, no! I just realized. Okay. We got this. We got this. I believe in us. I know, that's what I was like, where is Daryl? I see him on Jen's. He was on the main building, Jen. For a while. Like, does he have aura reading? Like, where is he just not seeing him? Like, there he is. Yay, finally found him. Oh, Daryl got himself off. Oh. I hate that the crows give you away so fast now. I like how Daryl was like the first to leave before even the killer left. It was so funny. Okay, hold on. Let me change who I'm gonna be. Let's see. Because I also have Screech Cobbler on this character. Okay, I've got Built to last. Oh. It's funny. I've been having so many issues like with like my stomach and like eating certain foods. And I love orange juice, and orange juice seems to bother me the most recently. And I didn't even drink it recently. I literally had orange juice for breakfast. That's all I had. And it's been bothering me all day. Anyway. Also, by the way, one of my favorite shows is Traders. And we will be watching Traders Canada in my Discord. And when I say my Discord, I actually own a joint Discord with Lee Spunky, Tasha Who, and Coda Girl Chan. And yeah, it's called the Bixen Speakeasy. And yeah, we all just kind of hang out there sometimes. We watch movies, sometimes watch Traders. We watch a lot of Traders, to be honest. And yeah. We have a manual process, so you have to join. You have to do a introduction, and once you do that, I will manually give you the role of a member, and then you can see the rest of the Discord. So, if you don't do that the first time, then yeah, you just can't see the rest of the Discord. Which is so funny. It's actually helped us a lot because we can see when people join, and we can also see when people leave. And randomly sometimes we'll just see like 3 or 4 people leave, and we're like, I don't even know who that is. Do, 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 do. Do we know who the killer is? Oh. Oh, oh. Oh, Jesus. She, like, ran right through me. That gen was almost done. Do they have Tinkerer, or do we think they just lost that one person, so decided to come back? I'm like, I normally find bones by now. Here? Ah. Found it. Found it. Hold on. Oh my god. Why can't I get out of here? Did my whole keyboard just shut off? There we go. I was like, I don't know what just happened, but my keyboard like just turned off. That was so weird. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. I'm coming, Panda. I'm coming. Oh, someone got you. I'm coming for collective heals. Well, I mean, I don't need heals, but... Okay. Okay, after this, I'm gonna repair my, or I mean, not repair. Power on my toolbox. Recharge. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm like, what is the word I'm looking for? This is how you know when I'm tired, when I'm just like, I don't know what the words mean. What are words? What are we doing here? Do any of us know what we're doing here? Nah. Ooh. We got a rose. We got a little teddy bear. Pride charm. It's okay. Oh, shit. Oh, you finally got me. You finally got me. Darn it. That's right, that's right. Oh, found some bones. Oh, shit. I should have stayed until my my toolbox was fully charged. Alrighty. Let's get some bones. Oh my god, that gen was like almost done. Is that something that is there like a challenge where you like go through someone and you hit them? Is that a challenge? Fine. Oh. Is it healing? Okay, door is there, and door is where? 1, 2. Heart choker's where? I open killer shack. We got 2 doors on their way. Hold on. Ooh, you get me. Go, 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 go. No. Go, Heart, go. Can I not? Can I knock it out? Didn't even let me try. So close. You know, no, it's okay. You know, if our rando didn't abandon us, I feel like we might have been able to make that work. Because we all could have healed, and then we all could have whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we could have all... We could have all, like... You know what I mean? Like, we could have reset. We could have all went in there. We could have all got off the hook, and then we all could have gotten out. We could have. We could have. But either way, it was a fun game. Surge, spies from the shadow, nurses calling, and discordance. Oh, that actually makes sense. So when 2 of us were on a gen, that's when they knew that we were on there. Interesting. All right. LG? I gotta say LG with this group. Let's see. I don't think I need this one. I'm gonna get maybe Blast Mine? Let's do that. I'm getting a flu shot tomorrow and my COVID vaccine tomorrow, so gotta somewhat get to bed on a decent hour. And then I also gotta do some work tomorrow. Hmm. Cool. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know why I'm so tired for. Ugh, that's a lie. I know exactly why I'm so tired for. I've done 1,000,001 things this week. Is the best game. The bestest. Look at that. And I was even so productive during this time. I bought my niece a birthday/Christmas present. We had some laughs. Ooh, I don't know why I keep yawning. I mean, I know I'm yawning because I am tired, but I don't know why I'm this tired for. Thanks for the shout out. Same this week. Last weekend drained me so much. Right? Yeah. And I'm supposed to write a test, so I'm gonna go back to school. My plan is to go back to school in September. I applied for law school. And I have to write the LSAT, and I haven't been studying at all. I originally was supposed to write it in November, but now I pushed it back to January. And I haven't been practicing as much. I have been reading a whole bunch of books on how to write the LSAT exam. I've done one practice test, but most times I've been doing like little ones. So like in total, it's like 100-question test. And I've been doing like little short versions of it. So like they're like 14 to 16 questions, and like seeing how well I do on that. And I have done one full one to see where like roughly where I'm going to get. And I'm not doing too bad, but there's room for improvement. So I've been reading a lot of books and listening to a lot of audiobooks on how to beat the LSAT exam, because it's not about like questions, it's about logic. And you have to like remember that the question is not like, there's not right answers, because the problem is multiple questions and answers in there are actually right. You have to figure out what the best question is, or the best answer based on the question of what the question is actually asking. So it's a lot of logic. And the biggest thing that I've read is don't overthink it. And I'm like, yeah. Asking someone who is an overthinker not to overthink it is like, yeah. It's hilarious. But I'm going to do good. I mean, I'm going to try my best. But I need to practice this month. Because I do want to do well. Need help with my camera? What's wrong with my camera? My camera's fine. Oh. It's Mikal? Where's Mikal? Oh, they are a fast walker. Oh, Jesus. They're like very fast. Why are they always supposed to move that fast? He was like almost zipping and zooming across the map, you know? I hate that I can't even like... I can't even attempt to get off. Like, were they always supposed to be that fast? Okay. Like, were they always that fast? Like, I'm trying to figure out what is it that they had that they were like, they were so fast. You didn't even get Scourge Hook. Like something about that was very suspicious. I was like, why are you so fast? And I'm trying to read anything that they brought to tell me like, hey, this is what you would get, and you would get like some haste or something, but he was switching between powers. Between fast and insta-down. I was like, say what? I mean, that can't be our last game, by the way. No, there was no add-on. I mean, there was a lock of hair and there was the other one, but nothing about it said anything about speed. There was no haste, nothing. That's why I was like, that is very suspicious. Lock of hair and vanity mirror, yeah. I was reading the perk. There was nothing about haste in there or like speed boost or anything. It just seemed weird. I mean, was that the buff that he got? We need a Myers main in here. Calling Myers mains. We have some questions. Oh, so my phone is already at 35%. Seriously though, like, he was so fast. I know they tweaked his lunge because that's what most people talked about. Yeah. Well, the lunge was like, but like from where he got to where he was to where he got back to me was like, wow. Like, it just seems very, to me, it was very suspicious. Now, I have played against a Myers that was hacking, and he literally like zipped across the map. It was very obvious. But this one, it's like just enough that I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Right? What do I have for an item? Oh. Deadly art. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Wow. literally got hit through a window. Oh. Jesus, they really want me. Oh, hey! Hi, baby. Nope. Hey, Maurice. Maurice, how are you? How are you? Well, at least I got to say hi to Maurice. I didn't even realize that's where I was. Thanks, friend. I'm like, if this bitch comes back here, Okay, I'm sorry. We got interrupted. How are you? You good boy? Yes, haven't seen you in such a long time. Yes. There you go. Yeah. Sometimes. Wait, I thought you were injured. Wait, are you coming after me? I've already been on the hook. Go find another friend. Jesus. Oh my god. I'm under a pallet. The killer's ping is 128. Okay. No, it's okay. You can go. Go work on a gen. Oh shit. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to fast fold over there. I'm like, does this person not have don't they have background thing? Why are they... Jesus, Why are you over here? And why? I'm beginning to think they have barbecue and chili. You-ho. I just want to go die with Maurice, okay? Maurice, I'm coming! I'm coming! I'm gonna go say hi to Maurice. Alright, Maurice. Hi, bestie. How are you? I like that we don't have to keep holding down the button. It just automatically does it now. I'm staying here. Say hi to Maurice. You. Say hi to Maurice. You. Say hi to Maurice. It's me. Is you such a good boy? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes. Okay. Oh, I hear it. I hear it. Down the hatch. They had mad grit. Oh my god. Lightborn, Iron Grasp, Agitation. They didn't even bring any offerings and or add-ons. I don't know if they knew that I can get out of that little, like, that little trail on the bottom. Like, I didn't need it. Like, I didn't need it at all. Anyways. No, I'm gonna quickly put these points in the new person. Ooh, thank you for playing games with me. Much appreciated. Are certain killers just less affectionate by struggle? Affected by struggling? Yeah, if they have mad grit. I think mad grit is the one. It's an add-on, I think. Oh, and Iron Grasp. And Iron Grasp. Yeah, thank you for playing. Much appreciated. I should be playing... my plan is to stream on Wednesday night. That is my plan. I'll probably play Marvel Rivals. That's probably what I'll play. I usually play DBD on Mondays. That's usually what I do. Oh my god. I swear, my hair just looks so funny. I think it's because, like I said, I put this oil thing in my hair because it's like, it's supposed to be good for your scalp. It just makes my hair look funny. Just look. Yeah, it just looks fun. Anyways, I need to get a haircut too. Oh my god. Sorry. ADHD, I tell you. It's worse when I'm tired. I'm just like, my attention span's like nowhere even near anywhere when I'm tired. But yeah. Thank you for playing with me. Thank you, Panda. Thank you, Heart Choker. I appreciate you both. Oh, my stomach's bothering me. Gotta find someone to raid. And we didn't reach our streaming goal. Our streaming goal. Not our streaming goal. We didn't reach our goal. We are $20 short. So what I probably will do is I'll probably just continue raising money for the rest of the week. And then, yeah. Yeah, it's so hard. It's now podcast time because 3 hours and 45 minutes of Aretha is never enough. uh yeah. Yeah, I've just had so many problems with my stomach. I do see a specialist. Um I am gonna see I see a dietitian and I also am seeing a specialist. So I have a follow-up appointment because they sent me for a whole bunch of tests on next week. So hopefully you all know more information and then I can like just share like my issues that I'm having because I hope it's not like this like forever. I just have to be careful of like so many foods that I eat. And I'm not even a big drinker, okay? I'm not a person who drinks a lot of alcohol, but I like the occasional glass of wine. I like the occasional drink. But because of the way my stomach is and the issues that I'm having, especially because my biggest issue is my pancreas and my liver, um, alcohol is a big trigger. So I've been staying away from it. Okay, let's see. Who should we raid? I think I would normally just raid Heart Choker, but I believe I raided Heart Choker last time. So I try to space it out places, or hmm. I mean, we could say hi to a new friend. Also, I was in my Discord this whole time too. Ooh. Okay. Yes. Don't forget to listen to the new podcast episode. I interviewed one of my mentors in film. She is like, oh my God, she's done so many cool things. Her first feature film that she ever directed starred uh what's his name? Bradley Cooper. He was in her film. It's called Older Than America. It's a really good film, by the way. I think you can watch it on Netflix. Is it Netflix? Or is it Amazon? One of them. Anyways, she has been like in the industry for like a long time and her kids as well. Um and so yeah, she's just awesome. And I knew like if I asked her that she would definitely, be in my podcast. She's the person that I ask that if I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, I have no idea, like I have some questions, like she would be the person I would ask about film because she's just like so knowledgeable and is always willing to share and help and support and everything. So, yeah. Okay, sorry. Got distracted again. I think that's what I was gonna look up. Hold on. Let me see. Can I look up this one? This way. I think we're gonna go say hi to one of my teammates from the games that we played. They are a drag artist, and they're currently playing Arc Raiders. Oh, they're on Be Right Back. I'm like, this is not Arc Raiders. I know this. They're on BRB. I'm like, do I wait for them? Do I just stall? What do I do? Do. I can stall. Seriously though. My hair looks like so oily. Well, technically it is because I literally put oil in it. But it's supposed to help my hair grow back a little bit better. You know, when I was younger, my hair used to be so thick you couldn't even see my scalp. I'm not even over exaggerating. And I've lost so much of my hair this past year. Okay, we're almost done. I hear talking. Oh, now I got an ad. Okay, they're having issues, so they might raid out to someone else, but you know what? That's fine. Okay, we're gonna go say hi to Kiyoshi. They were a member of our team on both on DBD and on Marvel Rivals, so I think that's what we're gonna go say hi to. The first one is if you are a subscriber. The second one is if you are a follower. Let's go over and say hi and share the love. Yeah. And then wherever they take us, we'll just go with them there too as well. So I guess. All right. Like I said, I should be live again on Wednesday. I will be playing some Marvel Rivals. I will not be starting as late as I did today, but I wanted to make sure to yeah, I wanted to watch the panel. Two, I also just wanted to like rest and finish watching the movie with my mom. But yeah. Appreciate you all for being here. I thank you for the raid. Thank you, London, for the raid. Thank you for bringing the community over. Thank you to my mods. You are awesome. And thank you for the games. Yes, Panda Cat Killer and Heart Choker. Thank you so much for the games. And I will see you all later. Oh, tomorrow, Traders in my Discord. We'll be watching that tomorrow evening. So if you want to come watch Traders, feel free to join us. Good night.